back again, Nurse Wakanda, and welcome back to my channel. But let's start right now. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video once I'm done or whatever. Okay, so I am doing the nurse crime series. Okay, I did the first one on nurse. I hate to call these people nurses, but it is what it is. Beverly Atlet, and this is fair use for educational purposes. We're doing a video on today that's hot in the news right now. Just got convicted on Monday. Just got sentenced on Monday, rather. Nurse Lucy Letby, another UK nurse. I don't know what's going on in the UK with these nurses. I mean, I don't know. Is they here too? This is something, huh? But anyway, so fair use, my condolences. And I don't take this lightly because the victims involved were infants. They were little bitty, tiny neonatal babies. So my condolences to the families. I pray that they get peace. I know this trial opened up wounds that probably they were working on healing, and it just opened up the wounds that they already had because they probably found out things that they didn't even know during this trial. So my condolences to the family. I pray for the kids that did live. I hope they have a productive life. I know one of the kids do have cerebral palsy. I hope they're doing well. I hope they're progressing. I hope all the kids are progressing that she attacked, but they did not pass away. And that's all I gotta say on that. So let's talk about this case. This case, it was so much to unpack. It was not like the other one, okay? It was similar, but not the same. She did a lot. Everything that they accused her of, she was convicted. She was found guilty. And they just gave her a sentence the other day. So, let's talk about it, okay? So, Lucy Letby, she was young, too. Younger. These girls is young. You don't got nothing else better to do? You got your whole life in front of you and you doing this reckless stuff that's going to send you away for the rest of your life. Taking babies out the world? Oh my God. It's just don't know what to say. These infants and these families did not deserve. This was just sickening. It was sickening if she did what they accused her of doing. So, 30 years after Nurse Beverly Atlet, we got Nurse Lucy Letby. What did I call her? Nurse Lucy Letby. She went on a killing spree. Lucy Letby today, is 33 years old. She's a 33-year-old female born January 4th, 1990. I was going to say 1940. No, she was born 1990. On Monday, August 21st, 2023, she was sentenced to a whole life in the UK. Now, how many years that is? I'm thinking that's forever because they said without the possibility of parole, she'll spend her whole life in there. She's only 33, so she's going to be in there. So they just sentenced her on Monday, August 21st, 2023. Sentenced to a whole life in prison without the possibility of parole by the British Manchester Crown Court, where she went through 10 months of trial. Okay? She killed 7 babies and attempted to murder 10 more. She had 22 charges against her. The British law does not allow the death penalty. And she is the 3rd woman alive who has received a whole life sentence. She did not even come to court to hear the sentencing and face the families and the parents. Now, she maintained her innocence the whole time. But a criminologist reported that these people who do these things, they already have developed this mindset to kill, and it's usually the most vulnerable, babies and elderly. So let's give a brief story about Miss Lucy Letby, okay? Lucy, she was the only child to her mother and father, and her mother and father were still together because they was at the court appearance, the trial and everything every single day, is what I heard. One of her parents was an accounts clerk, and the other one was was a finance manager. Again, just like the other one. Seemed like a good family. Lucy lived like 100 miles from her, moved away to Chester, which was like 100 miles away from her parents. She finished nursing school at the University of, I think Chester. Yeah, University of Chester in 2011. She's supposed to be the first person in her family that, went to the university. Lucy started working at the Countess of Chester Hospital in the city of Chester in the UK. This is a 625 bed hospital. That's a lot of beds, baby. Lucy started as a neonatal nurse in 2012. Lucy did not have kids or not even a serious relationship. She did have friends, and it seems like she worked with the friends that she had, okay? I learned that the word collapse, which the British say, because I kept reading the court cases and listening to everything, and they kept saying collapse, collapse, collapse. And, in the United States, we say crash, code. So in the British, they say collapse when somebody's down or doing bad. Also, I learned the British say nappy when they change the diaper. I just love the way they talk. But on a serious note, yeah, they say nappy. They change a nappy. That means a diaper. They also say post-mortem, which I'm like, post-mortem here means a different thing than what they're saying to me. That means they send them out for post-mortem. That's like an autopsy. So we say autopsy. They say post-mortem. Okay. So those few things I learned. Also, the judges in the UK, know everybody, people know this, but I've been seeing it, but I just never put it together. They wear those little wigs, little curly wigs, like the Renaissance days and clothes like that. That was very interesting that they still do that in 2023. But anyway, this killing spree began from June 2015 to June 2016. She had a whole year. She was acting a fool. It's reported that Lucy took an intravenous line class 2 weeks prior to all these murders at the hospital, okay? And that this intravenous line class talked about air embolisms. Any intravenous line class is going to talk about air embolisms because you're dealing with lines. So she took this class 2 weeks prior to the murders. Then here come all these murders in the hospital, okay? So that was one thing. You need to know that to understand all the things she did. Okay. This unexplained rise of infant deaths led to peer reviews by other doctors, even other specialists at other places. And they was reaching out to pediatric experts of the different places to get a medical reason to this rise in all these deaths, okay? It was 1 year that these deaths shot up. 1 year. June 2015 to June 2016. Some of the pediatric doctors started to suspect Lucy because they realized that she was always the common denominator in the situation. She was either the nurse or she was working with the nurse, but it was always her somewhere around, okay? When these babies collapse. So just to give a brief before we get into everything with this case, the doctors went to the hospital management with the concerns after a few of the babies had died. And the management at the hospital, they wasn't receptive at all to the doctors. I'm like, dang, over here, they listen to the doctors before they listen to the nurses. But over there, they was listening to the nurse. So the doctors, they were, telling them, like, this is why is every time she's here, this is happening. They went to them And they kind of blew them off. And over time, things did not get better. And eventually they did call the police. But it's a famous doctor over there in the UK. They say he has like a reality show over there, or a doctor show, like say for instance, like Dr. Oz have here. His name is Dr. Ravi Jayaram. I probably can't say his name right, but look him up, because he was like one of the main people complaining about Lucy in this case. He was one of the doctors over there. He's a pediatric doctor. So the doctors feel bad that they took so long, but the hospital kind of sort of threatened them, like, leave us alone. When they kept complaining about, the hospital kind of was telling them, leave us alone. I guess they didn't want what was going to come about, which came about. So the police started investigating her in 2017. They actually arrested her 3 times. They arrested Lucy in 2018, again in 2019, and then in 2020. It said during the trial they gave the jury iPads, medical glossaries, so they can keep up and understand the medical terminology throughout this case, because it's a lot of medical terminology. By me being a nurse, I knew a lot of it. Now, some of the UK words are different from what we say here, some of them. But for the most part, I understood what they were saying. It was a lot of expert witnesses, a lot of, people talking on the behalf of the defense and the prosecution. So we're going to delve into the case. So the babies are called baby A through baby Q. So each baby from A to Q is a letter, because they're trying to protect the families and the babies and the kids that's still alive. So they do not say any of their names. They are all called baby A, baby B, baby C, baby D, all the way up to Q that they say she attacked. So Lucy is represented by defense attorney Ben Myers. He was good too. And the prosecutor was Nicholas Johnson. He was also good, I ain't gonna lie. Lucy did maintain her innocence throughout the whole thing, even up till now. So we're gonna begin with baby A. Baby A was a twin to baby B, okay? Baby A was the boy and baby E was the girl. They were 9 weeks early. The mother had them 9 weeks early. She attacked baby B in 2015, and she murdered him on June 8th, 2015, according to the prosecution. The mother did have a high-risk pregnancy, and it was reported that she had came into the hospital for elevated blood pressure, and she also had autoimmune disease. So she was induced. Baby A came out 3 pounds and 12 ounces. He was doing fairly well despite his prematurity, and he was stable according to the reports. There were 4 nurseries at this hospital. So it was nursery 1. Nursery 1 was the most critical babies. Then nursery 2 was critical, but not as worse as nursery 1. I think all the babies in nursery 1 are intubated, okay? Then you got nursery 3. You're getting a little bit better. Than nursery 4. Oh, you better now. You almost finna go out the door, okay? You almost finna go. Now remember, Lucy Letby was a neonatal nurse. So she only dealt with the babies who came in premature, before the time they were supposed to be born, and things like that. That's the neonates, okay? So these babies are tiny. They're like, can fit in a hand. So these are very tiny little babies, okay? So this baby, baby A, was 3 pounds, 12 ounces. And like I said, they said baby was stable despite the prematurity, doing okay. So nursery 1 was one of the most critical babies, which is supposed to be 1-to-1 nurse. It's supposed to be 1 baby to 1 nurse. But of course, hospitals always say they're short. Well, back then, they say they're short. So those nurses got more than 1 patient, okay? More than 1 baby. So they said because they were working short, they did not have the correct nurse to patient ratios in the nursery. Nursery 1 was where baby A was. It was said that Lucy was with baby A when he collapsed. Remember, collapse means crash, coded, whatever. So Lucy was with baby A when he collapsed, and the staff rushed to assist her. The doctors and nurses worked on baby A for 40 minutes. And they got the parents and the grandparents because they were already there. You know, they were like in the little, you know, in the nurseries and stuff. They have like little rooms for the parents can stay and visit. They can go rest or relax up in this room. And then, you know, they go back and forth. So they were there. So they ran and got them. So the parents of the baby A, the twin boy, and the grandmother were all watching while they tried to resuscitate baby A. And the grandmother said in one of the articles or whatever I read that she knew he wasn't coming back when she walked in the room. He didn't look like he would be. And so she told her daughter, I guess it was just so traumatic for them to watch the team work on baby A, that she said, you know, you got to let him go because they had worked on him so long. 40 minutes is a long time to be down. And the doctors had kind of told them, like, if he does live, he's going to have a lot of issues. And most likely he's going to be, in layman's terms, like a vegetable or whatever. Brain damage. So the grandmama told the mother that, and the mother didn't want to do it, but she got herself together and she ended up telling them to stop CPR. And it's so sad. And he died a couple hours later. It was reported that Lucy put air in baby A's intravenous line, and that's how he died. He died 24 hours after he was born. Lucy was the nurse, and she took a print of his hand and his feet, and she also got a lock of his hair, and she gave it to the mom. And they made like little boxes or whatever, keepsake boxes for the parents, and she gave that to the mom. The family was devastated because nobody thought that the babies was gonna die. So, you know, they didn't think the baby was gonna die. So the baby had post-mortem, but they could not see why. Remember, post-mortem means like an autopsy here. So when I say these words, correlate that post-mortem means autopsy, collapse means crash or cold. Okay? So the baby had a post-mortem, but they could not see why baby had died. The doctors was baffled. The baby had this mottled look, sort of like a discoloration look, that they could not explain what they saw during his collapse. They could not explain why the skin looked like a rash, like a mottled bluish discoloration. And we're going to hear about this look with a few more of the babies, okay? So Lucy attacked baby B, his sister, the twin. 27 hours after she attacked the brother, okay? She attacked the girl. The parents did not want to leave baby B's side due to what just happened to baby A, okay? The staff convinced the family to go and get some rest. You know, they probably see him. They like, she been here all day. She needs to go lay down. She probably tired. So, you know, the nurses probably like, go get some rest. We got it. You know, that's what nurses do. We got it. Not knowing you got this here on the side of you, plotting and planning. So, Lucy was not the nurse for baby B. Lucy told her nurse that Lucy went around the baby for some reason and told the nurse, oh, baby B is not breathing. Okay, now the parents done left. They went to get some rest. Lucy done got around baby B and said baby B is not breathing, and she looks like her brother did. This is what Lucy said. The nurses was baffled, and the nurses was baffled because baby B was stable. Like, she was stable. What's going on? Okay. Now, when the parents were home, they were called back to baby B collapsing. So they went home, and then they came right back because of that. Okay. The doctors report that she had the same mottled skin discoloration like her brother. She recovered quickly after they resuscitated her. So baby B did survive, okay? The mother stayed by baby B's bedside and really did not even go home. And when they did, they called every 2 hours. The prosecution said that she did the same thing to baby B that she did to her brother baby A by injecting air into intravenous line, causing an air embolism. But the defense team said that she received suboptimal care. And that's why baby B collapsed, not because of air embolism. The radiologist said that they saw air in the brother's x-ray. So baby B did survive and was able to get discharged home. But what I was going to say is that you're going to notice in these cases with the babies is that they would get this air embolism, and the babies tried hard to like recover from this air embolism. Like baby B did. Baby A couldn't, but baby B, and they noted that in the trial that the babies will be in such dire distress, and then they'll work on them and they'll pop right back and be back okay again. And it just was baffling to them how they went down and came right back up. It's like the bodies was trying to reverse what she was doing to them. The babies was trying to reverse it. Like she was giving them the air embolism, but the babies' bodies was trying to reverse the air embolism. Some of them didn't, of course, because they passed away. But like baby A ended up passing away from the air embolism. I don't know if she was giving more to them, and then she probably wasn't paying attention, but maybe dosing them with more air and then dosing the next baby, thinking she dosing them the same, but maybe less. And those babies were able to reverse what was going on, because baby B, they said, was also injected, had that same modeling looking skin, but baby B kind of reversed the situation and ended up surviving. And like they said, the mother, she like, oh, we ain't finna do this no more. I'm not leaving. I'm staying right here. I don't care. I'm gonna be stanky. I'm not washing up. I'm not moving from my baby. I don't care. I'm not doing it, because it was noted in the trial that Lucy would always attack these babies when the parents left. Like when the parents was there, the babies was fine. It was when the parents went off the unit, because some of the mothers were still in the hospital because they were recovering from having a C-section. So they would come up and down to see their babies or pump breast milk and bring it down to the baby. She would attack the babies once the parents either went home or went back to the unit they were on. Okay? So that's something. Just can't believe that somebody just would attack tiny little 3-pound, 2-pound babies. Like, what is you getting out of that? What would somebody get out of that? So let's talk about, so we know baby A, the twin boy, passed away. Let's just make sure we clarify that. Baby B was the twin girl of baby A. She did end up surviving. Condolences to the brother, the little baby boy that passed away. Baby C was one of the smallest babies. That's the next case. He weighed 2 pounds and he was born 10 weeks early. The mother had problems during her pregnancy. He was in nursery 1 as well. Remember, nursery 1 is the most critical. They said he was very active and a feisty little tiny thing. They said he was feisty. They reported that he was doing well and he did not have to be resuscitated, because a lot of the preemies, when they first born, they so tiny they have to be resuscitated to get them back. But baby C did not have to be resuscitated at birth. He was about to start his feedings. That's how well he was doing, because usually when the baby's so little, they hold off on giving them food. They might give them intravenous food, slowly, because the baby's so tiny they can't take all that. Just like an older person, I always have to tell family members, because I did hospice, just to go back a little bit to make people understand what I'm talking about. Just like an older person, sometimes when they get older and their bodies start to fail, a lot of family members like, oh, they're not eating anymore. Or they'll say, could we put a G tube in them because they're not eating anymore. And by me doing hospice, we learn in hospice that when the bodies start to shut down and start to decline, it hurts sometimes to even eat. They don't want to eat. take a lot just to eat. And then you give them a G-tube feeding, and the food is not absorbed. It's just sitting in the body, not being absorbed, and they all swell up. So I looked at it like that. Also with the babies, the same thing. They're too tiny to withhold that type of feeding. So that's why they're not feeding them right now. They're so little, they got to wait till they're stable enough to start giving them a bottle or whatever. And then when they did start giving them a bottle, they were giving them like 0.5 mLs. That's a little bit of food. Just, to start them off, to getting them adjusted to taking the bottle and things like that. So let's get back to the little feisty baby C. So like I said, they said he was doing well. He was doing so well, they was finna start feeding him orally. And this was 5 nights. 5 nights after baby A was attacked. And 4 nights after baby B was attacked. So Lucy was not the nurse again, and was actually working in another nursery. Now, we're going to find out through this case that Lucy did not like working in the other nurseries, okay? She liked it the most critical babies. She only wanted to work in nursery 1 and in nursery 2. If she went to nursery 3 or nursery 4, she complained. She texting her friends, because they put all this in the trial. She's texting, complaining about being in nursery 3 and nursery 4, and she liked to be with the critical babies. I mean, she had a fit, and she never was in nursery 3. Even if she was assigned nursery 3, she still wasn't even taking care of babies. She was still in nursery 1, fooling with them babies. She was never hardly in the place where she's supposed to be in. And you're gonna hear in the trial that her like supervisor, nurse supervisor on the floor, kept telling her, go to your nursery, leave these people alone. Okay, so you're gonna hear that as I continue to talk about it. So like I said, this was 5 nights after she attacked baby A and 4 nights after she attacked baby B. She was not the nurse. The nurse found Lucy standing over baby C's cot, because they were in cots. Lucy was working in nursery 3 and not in nursery 1 this night, but baby C had his first feed of 0.5 mLs of milk. When he was more stable, he was getting feeding intravenously as well. Baby C collapsed 20 minutes after his first feed. The nurse said the alarm was going off, and Lucy was standing over the cot, and Lucy told the nurse that the oxygen saturation dropped. He collapsed again, and Lucy was over his cot again. When the nurse looked, they started working on baby C. Lucy wanted to use a oral device, like some type of device to put in baby C's mouth to kind of give him an airway. And the other nurses were looking like, we don't do that. What are you trying to do that for? That's what I took from it, because we have those nurses that want to be extra, that should not be doing some of the things they're doing, and she was one of them. So the other nurse was looking like, no, we don't know nothing about that. Like, let's get the doctors and stuff down here. Let them handle that. So she wanted to put this device in the mouth, and the other nurses, they had never used this device. The mother was actually a physician herself. She was a general medicine doctor. And they ran to get her while they were working on baby C. His collapse was so sudden and unexpected. Okay, Lucy went to the mother and asked, did she want her to call a priest before baby C even passed away? And the mother was shocked. She like, why is a nurse telling me this? She's not a doctor. Is this the end? Like, they can't save my baby? Like, she was wondering, like, why did she jump straight to that before the physician even said what the prognosis was? So I could understand why she was feeling like that. She was looking like, because they said in the trial that she brought that up. Like, I was wondering why a nurse came to me talking about a priest, because when in the UK, when you talk about a priest or baptizing, that means that the baby is most likely about to pass away, and you want to give them their last rites, baptizing, things like that. So she came to the family. Let me tell you, as a nurse, we all know the type that just do too much. And see, when I say that, I don't want people to think I'm saying like, oh, they just being a good nurse. No. It's a difference when you're being a good nurse and you're advocating for your patients and doing what you're doing. And then it's another thing when you doing the most. And a lot of nurses might have that Munchausen by proxy that just might not be bad like some nurses, like Atlet and Lucy. But because me working as a nurse, it was made 19 years. This month made 19 years, okay, as a registered nurse. You've seen that through the years where these nurses just so extra, like, okay, calm down. Lucy reminds me of those nurses that I've worked with at different places that act like that. And it wasn't a lot, just a few. But it's definitely noticeable. So, like I said, she did all that. Talk to the mother when she shouldn't have been doing it. But anyway, again, the doctors were baffled again. They baffled again because these are not the babies that they are expecting to die. I'm quite sure the doctors looked at some of the babies like, okay, this baby might not make it, But we're not talking about those babies. We're talking about the babies that these doctors did not expect to die, or it was kind of baffling about what was going on with them. It just wasn't making sense from what was going on with them, with what all the diagnostic tests was showing. So the doctors was kind of like, what the heck is going on? This is not showing. Usually you can see things and kind of be like, okay, well, this is to be expected. But they looking at the test results and they're not seeing what is going on with these babies, okay? So they are baffled. They are very baffled about these babies. Now, this is the third baby. This baby C now. We on baby C. This is the third baby, a couple of days apart. So the doctors didn't understand why the baby's heart restarted. So this is the thing. This is a key thing, what they're trying to say. The baby heart stopped. They worked on the baby heart stopped. It was no pulse, no breathing. And then all of a sudden, the baby tried to correct itself. Like I said a while ago, it's like the babies was trying to fight off what she had did to them. But they so tiny, it might work, it might not. So this baby heart restarted after they didn't have a pulse. It restarted a little while later. And this baby was able to live 5 hours with the mom. The baby was breathing and everything for 5 hours before the baby actually passed away. The doctors they just could not understand how this happened. How this baby did not have a pulse. This baby was not breathing. Then all of a sudden, because they're thinking that air embolism stopped all that, and then it kind of resolved itself, and the baby came back. But the baby did end up passing away. It might have just been too traumatic for the baby, but the baby did end up passing away 5 hours later with the mom. The doctors thought whatever happened, again, like I just said, to the baby, it was starting to reverse itself. But he did end up passing away. Lucy had to be told, listen to this, Lucy had to be told to leave the parents alone, because from the court case, the mother, and this was not just this mother, a few of the mothers was so annoyed by her. Like, they didn't say the word annoyed, but from what they saying, that's what they meant. They was like, they're trying to be with their child, and here she comes. They're quiet. They're just ruminant, quiet. She's coming to them. They don't want to talk to you, girl. Get out their face. And it looked like the mothers were so annoyed. So the parents were so annoyed with Lucy. She was trying to put the baby in a ventilated basket. This was before the 5 hours, before the baby passed away. Here come Lucy with this ventilated basket. Now, everybody know the baby heart restarted, okay? She just said in her head, no, he gonna die, because let me go get this basket. Now, everybody know the baby heart restarted. They all baffled about it, but here she come with the basket. And the parents was like, why is she bringing me this basket? My baby is still alive right now. They not ready to accept that if he is gonna pass, let them be. I see what I definitely understand what she was doing and how they felt. I definitely understand it. Okay. So she's bringing it in there, and they annoyed with her, and she felt that they were annoyed with her. So she ended up walking off. The shift charge nurse had to keep telling Lucy, go tend to your own babies. This wasn't even her baby. She wasn't even the nurse. Go tend to your own babies. So expert witness concluded that baby C did not die naturally. Reports show that she put air directly into the baby's abdomen and caused him to suffocate. Lucy started messaging her colleagues, because this was a night shift. She got off probably at 7:30. At 8 a.m. 8 a.m. She got off her shift. She told them, oh, it was a bad shift. And she did this a lot, okay? But you picking up every day, girl, go do something else. Like one thing I could honestly say is that nurses do work a lot. Nurses work multiple jobs. I'm one of them. But I usually don't work the same place like that. And it's a reason, because you get burnt out regardless. But just going like her, she was going to this hospital. She was picking up like 4-5 shifts in a week. 12-hour shifts. She was working constantly. She was trying to buy a house, okay. But girl, go get you another job. Go do some home health on the side. Go do something else. You hear too much. Anytime somebody is somewhere all the time, you probably is gonna get blamed for something, because you're there too much. You are always there. So that was another thing. So she'll get on her phone when she leave her shift. She walked to work because her house she bought, it was right by the Chester Hospital. And again, the hospital that she worked was the Countess of Chester Hospital. So she used to walk to work. Again, so Lucy, she's texting her friends, and she's telling them how bad the shift was. And she would do that a lot. She would text her friends, mainly people that worked there with her that she was cool with. Like if they worked one shift and she worked another, they'll text throughout the shift. And Lucy will pick up day shift, night shift, but she mainly worked nights. Then they end up moving her to days, thinking that if she go to days, maybe, they could track these deaths or whatever. But it followed her on days too. It followed her everywhere she went. So she was telling me it was a bad shift. She was saying that I was just adjusting the baby A died. Now baby C died. The colleague was trying to comfort Lucy by telling her to just go get some rest. It's not your fault. Just go lay down. You're a good nurse. Lucy would make a habit to ask colleagues how the parents were doing if she wasn't there. It was like almost, it was creepy, because I've been a nurse for all these years. I've been a nurse for all these years, and I've never, well, I know it's not babies. I worked with geriatric and regular, but when we leave work, yes, you do bring it home with you, but you're not calling back up to the hospital and texting people, asking, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Like, she clearly did not have a life outside of work. She clearly didn't. It's okay to be compassionate and be like, oh, I just hope the babies are okay. But to call when you off to text all day about your job, that was so weird to me. Okay. And you're going to see some other, during this trial, you're going to hear some other weird stuff too. So baby A died, and now baby C has died. So the defense tried to prove that her defense team tried to say that baby C had some type of blockage, and that's how he died. But the expert witnesses for the prosecution said that it wasn't the blockage, because he was improving before he even passed away from whatever issues he had. He was doing real good. So the next baby is baby D. Okay, so baby D's case is very, very familiar to me. You want to know why? Because this happened to me. I had a child that passed away just like baby D passed away. My eldest child. I have 3 children, but I actually birthed 4. I actually carried and birthed 4 kids, but one of my kids passed away just like baby D. And I will talk about it because it is hard to talk about, but I will talk about it in another video just to help people, because it might help people. But anyway, my case was similar, a lot similar to how baby D and what happened with baby D. I was not convinced. I was not that convinced that she actually murdered baby D, only because what happened to baby D happened to my daughter that passed away in 1992. Oh, so baby D died 8 days after baby C. I'm not saying she didn't play a role in it. She might have. I wasn't there. Nobody knows. She most likely she probably did. But the case is very, very, very similar how my daughter passed away. So, baby D died 8 days after baby C. And baby D was the only baby that was full term. She was not a preemie. She was 6 pounds, 14 ounces. Like my daughter. My daughter was about the same. I think she was 6 pounds, 12 ounces. She would have never been in a neonatal ward. They made a mistake. The hospital made a mistake and put baby D in the neonatal ward instead of in the regular ward with the regular babies. The mother's water broke and she went to the hospital. They sent the mother home for 24 hours. And this is the thing. And this is what they should not have done. And this is what happened to me. They sent the mother home 24 hours after her water bag broke with no antibiotic therapy. She had no contractions. The mother told staff that she was scared about getting an infection. And now my child was in 1992. The mother told the staff that she was scared about getting an infection. The mother was given an emergency C-section when she came back to the hospital. The baby, so the baby might have been septic, okay? From no water covering the baby. The water bag is broke, just open. And so now they're thinking the baby is septic. Baby D's mother had a good pregnancy. The mother should have gotten antibiotics, and this was an error. I'm sorry. The mother should have gotten antibiotics, and this was definitely an error on the hospital. And this was brought up in a trial that this was definitely an error in by the hospital for not, or the doctor caring for her for not giving her antibiotics. So 60 hours later, baby D was born. Okay. After all that, no antibiotics, baby D was born 60 hours later. The mother was worried after baby D was born. The baby looked like she was not alive, okay? They brought the baby to the mother and then they took her back right away due to concerns, okay? The mother she was really concerned about her baby. The baby D was struggling to breathe and the mother thought she looked gray looking. Baby D's dad was visiting baby because the mother, she was recovering for her C-section, so dad would come see baby D. Lucy was not baby D's nurse. Baby D was in nursery 1 again, and Lucy had another baby in nursery 2. When the parents came to see baby D, Lucy was the only nurse in the room. And the parents made a comment. They said they felt kind of uncomfortable because she was just hovering and hovering. She was hovering around the parents. You know, they trying to get a baby kisses and rubbing, and she's standing all over them. So they felt uncomfortable about her. So and they stated that in the trial that she made them feel uncomfortable. As soon as the parents went back to, you know, her hospital room, because like I said, she had a C-section, she was recovering. There she go. Here come Lucy she attempted to kill baby D. Lucy had 3 attempts to kill baby D. 3. Again, baby D had the same rash, this modeling looking rash on her body. Same as baby A and B. The prosecution is saying that this rash is what is being seen after air is injected into the bloodstream. They saying that this rash develops in the body after you shoot some air into the line of the babies. Okay. They resuscitated baby D after she crashed or collapsed. So they resuscitated baby D and she started to recover. Again, the babies tried to recover from the damage that she was doing to them. Baby D collapsed again at 1:30 a.m. and then at 3:30 a.m. Again, Lucy called for help. She's always there, ain't she? And CPR was started, okay? She was not coming back like she had previously did the last time she collapsed. They gave her 6 doses of adrenaline to try to restart her heart. They went up to the room. The staff went to get the mother and the father because they was up in the room sleep. They rushed downstairs. They had worked on baby D for so long, they had to stop. The parents had to let baby D go. The prosecution said that Lucy gave baby D another dose of the air in the bloodstream, which caused the other collapse, which led to baby D passing away. Again, here go Lucy again, another message through the WhatsApp. What is called WhatsApp. After she clocked out, she was telling the nurse how bad the night was. Yeah, because you did it. She told her that baby D died. And the nurse was like, I thought she was doing so much better. How she died? Lucy told her friend that his death is going to be, her death is going to be investigated. So they must have said something around Lucy like, oh, we finna look into this, because she told her friend, oh, they finna investigate the death of baby D. Because remember, A died, B attacked, C died, D died. Okay? They sent baby D to post-mortem. Remember what post-mortem is? Autopsy. Which did show that she did have an infection of pneumonia and not sepsis. So she wasn't septic. And the pneumonia, they said from the post-mortem, was improving from what it was. The prosecution, so the prosecution reported that that didn't kill baby D, that the pneumonia. So now we got baby E. So we got baby E and F, but we're going to talk about baby E first, because anytime I say the letters together, that means they twins. So baby E was identical twins with a boy. 2 twin boys. Born to mother who lived 30 miles away. She's supposed to deliver at Liverpool Hospital. That was like a specialty hospital, because I noticed that the kids either get transferred to Liverpool or Arrowhead Hospital. Either one of those hospitals, when they can't handle the kid or the kid is too advanced, they transfer them over there. So this mother actually supposed to had her baby at Liverpool Hospital, which was close to her home, but I guess they didn't have any beds. Okay, and so for layman people, when a hospital does not have beds, they call it, in the United States, the hospital is on bypass. So that means that they can't accept anybody into the ER. And then I know in Chicago, and I'm quite sure it's everywhere, or Illinois, if you can accept a patient in your hospital, you're going to pay some hefty fines. And they charge the fines by the thousands, big thousands, by the hour. So when we used to be on bypass at the hospital I worked at, they had people scrambling around trying to get people out. What time they going home? They finna be discharged. It's a scrambling thing when they on bypass. This is not no joke. They own your bumper, okay? They want you to get people out of the hospital so they can bring people in the hospital, okay? So bypass is not a good thing when the hospital's on bypass, because they paying a lot of money when somebody got to bypass their hospital that needs the care to go to the next hospital. But I don't know how it goes in the UK, but what it seems as though Liverpool Hospital was on bypass, so she had to go all the way 30 miles to Countess of Chester. The mother was very high risk, and the mother should have not been at Countess of Chester, from what they said, due to her being so high risk. Baby E weighed under 3 pounds. Okay, baby E did not need to be ventilated when he was born. And on August 3rd, Lucy was the assigned nurse for both the twins, baby E and baby F. Baby E's mother was recovering upstairs, again, C-section. She was recovering after her C-section. The mother and father was under the impression that the babies were doing quite well. The mother came back to the neonatal unit to deliver breast milk for her babies. And as the mother approached the corridor, she heard her son screaming. And the mother described the scream as like a blood curdling scream, like a horrendous scream. This is what they're saying in the trial, like, this is a scream that a baby that tiny should not do. It wasn't a cry like a home. You know how babies cry when they home. They said this was like a scream, and I could imagine it was like a torture scream from how the mother described it. And Lucy didn't know she was walking up. The mother walked up like unexpectedly kind of startled her or surprised her. So she hear her baby with the scream, and she, you know, she approached, she asked Lucy, like, you know, what's going on? And then she walked up to her baby. You know, they learn how to do some type of calming mechanism. She trying to do it, and she notices blood all around her baby's mouth. And Lucy acting like she doing something after she done just did whatever she did to the baby. She's at the workstation, only person in the room. The mother was told, and this came up in the trial, because she said Lucy told her, like, you know, go back upstairs, let us handle it, and we'll call you back. Lucy said on the court stand that she never told the mother that. Okay, she said she didn't recall, but the mother stated that she told her to leave, and the mother said she was very reluctant to leave, but she, you know, these people trying to get the staff the benefit of the doubt. You know, she like, okay, I'll leave. I hope she looking like Lucy is trying to tell, like, we got this, you go back upstairs, we got this. And so the mother was like, okay. She left, and she said she left reluctantly. Okay, and she said that that's a scream that she just can't, you know, she'll never forget. So baby E was bleeding a lot. Okay, they said baby E was bleeding so much. Now the mother gone back upstairs. The doctor was like, this too much blood to be coming out of a baby. Like, why is the baby losing this much blood? Okay, they started CPR because collapsed. Baby E collapsed. Doctors were baffled once again. They baffled every time. Baffled once again on how much this blood this tiny little baby was losing. Okay, again, modeling of the skin, the appearance of the skin was modeled. At this time, they went and got the parents again, because like I said, she work on them when they gone. They end up stopping CPR on baby E. They did, you know, they did it for as long as they could, and they end up stopping it, and they gave baby E to his parents as he passed away. Baby E passed away on August 15th. Okay, the medical team thought because of the bleed that baby E might have had some type of necrotizing enterocolitis. I hate that word because I barely can say it, but it's the short term for it is neck, NEC, neck. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about neck again, so because I'm not gonna say this long word. But they thought the baby had some type of bowel obstruction, GI bleed, something like that going on. So the doctor did not recommend a post-mortem for baby E, because she thinking like, okay, I honestly think that doctor didn't do it because she didn't want to be found liable or anything. That was my opinion, but I'm gonna just give her a benefit of the doubt. She said she didn't want to put the family through anything. Just he died, just let it go. The doctor said in the trial that she regrets not doing a post-mortem on the baby, because afterwards, you know, after the baby passed away, they started looking at different things, because, you know, now the block is hot. Okay, the block is hot on this neonatal unit. Anytime that many babies pass in that short of time, the block is very much hot. So they looking at these tests, and they looking like, well, this is not what it was. This is not what happened. He shouldn't have died. This is not why he died. They thinking he died of some GI. When they looking at the tests and x-rays and all that, that's not what he had. Okay, so now the doctor regretting that she didn't do the post-mortem, because now they don't know what the heck happened to baby E. They just know baby E gone, and baby E had all this blood spilling out of him, and they don't know why. Okay, so the prosecution reported that they believe that Lucy shoved, remember, with the other baby, she was trying to put something down the baby's throat without anybody's direction, no orders, just shoving something down. So they believe that Lucy shoved something down the baby's mouth that caused him to bleed. Okay, they also believe that she gave him an air embolism as well. Now Lucy come off as the type that might practice out of her scope. Just like with the other case, she was trying to put something in baby's mouth, and the other nurses looking like, we don't do that. she seemed like the type that thought she was a superhero nurse and she could do this stuff. She thinks she a doctor and she could write the orders or whatever to do this. And I think she was doing something that she ain't had no business doing. But they're saying that she shoved something down his mouth. If she did that, she ain't nothing but she bad. Okay. So next is Baby F. Baby F is the other twin boy of Baby E. Now, Baby F has lost his identical twin, and he don't even know it yet. The family was transferring Baby F out of Countess of Chester, okay? They didn't want to be there anyway because it was too far. They was working on a transfer anyway. So the other twin, Baby F, he was 3 pounds, 3 ounces. He was bigger than Baby E, but he was much weaker, they stated, than Baby E was. He had to be resuscitated and ventilated at birth, okay? But he was able to come off the ventilator shortly after. A few hours later, Lucy attacked Baby F. She just don't stop. And he did not make it out of Countess of Chester Hospital, okay? The delay with the transfer was because they didn't have any ambulance available. This was the first time Lucy had used insulin to attack the babies instead of the air bubble, okay? So, Baby F was stable enough to leave out of nursery 1 to nursery 2 because he was breathing on his own. They were just helping him regulate his blood sugars. The blood sugar issue had been resolved, though, at this point, because the doctors rounded, and they said, oh, this is resolved now. And he was doing quite well. Baby F was being fed his mother's breast milk, because remember, she would pump and bring the milk down. Oh, I feel sorry, so sorry for the mothers. And they would give him small amounts of her breast milk. He was also given intravenous feeding bag. So with adults, I look at it as the same thing as like TPN, what we give in the PIC lines or the ports with people that have like some GI cancers or GI issues. They give them the TPN while the bowel rests, and they give it through the vein. And I was thinking this is probably sort of like what we do for adults. I'm not a pediatric nurse, but I'm just assuming that it's the same thing as total parental nutrition that we give for adults. So they were giving the baby the intravenous feeding, and this food is same like the adults. The pharmacy mixes it up, and the doctor writes exactly what nutrients, how much they want up in the bag, and the pharmacy mixes it up, sends it up to the floor, and they put it in a locked refrigerator on the units at the hospitals and things like that. So the reports show that Lucy added insulin to the baby's feeding, okay? He had a hypoglycemic episode with vomiting and elevated heart rate. They gave Baby F dextrose, right? They was giving dextrose as IV fluids with sugar. We call it sugar water. It's a bag of sugar that goes in the IV for people who are hypoglycemic. That means the blood sugar is low. You give them that dextrose to raise the blood sugar up. They were constantly giving this baby dextrose through the IV, but it was not working. You want to know why? Because she spiked his bags of feeding with the insulin. She probably did all his bags, okay? Because as soon as they took him off, because they like, why is this baby, what is going on? Why his blood sugars won't come? I mean, he would not come up. Now, anybody know who's a nurse, when you giving dextrose, them blood sugars gonna come up. They gonna come up because it's a lot of sugar. His wasn't coming up, and they like, what is going on? She had put it in the bag. She was putting it in the feeding bag, so he was constantly getting it, counteracting the dextrose that he was getting. Okay, so I guess a doctor figured it out and said, stop the feeding bag. Okay, as soon as they stopped the feeding bag, what happened? What happened? The blood sugars came back up. That lady, she was too much. So the blood sugars got better once they stopped the feeding. Again, here go Lucy, send a message through WhatsApp to after she got off that morning, discussing the case of Baby F. She was breaking, I guess I don't know, she was breaking HIPAA because she just, even though the nurses work there, but you all discussing them over the phone, you know, like, so she was doing the most anyway. So Lucy wanted her friends to keep her updated on baby F because she was off that night. So she left. She like, y'all, let me know how baby F doing. Texting on WhatsApp. Tell me, keep me posted. I'm not coming in tonight. See, when she didn't come in, all the babies lived. So the blood sugar stabilized. The night Lucy was off that night, she went to salsa dance with one of the, I don't know if it was another nurse friend, or I know it was one of her friends. Seemed like the only friend she had was the nurses up there, but I don't know. Because she did move far away from her parent, like 100 miles, so I guess she was meeting new people at the job. So, but Lucy texted her friend that was working that day and wanted to know, you know, what was going on at all times, like keep me posted. As soon as they stopped the feeding on baby F, like I said, the blood sugar levels improved. She kept texting on her off day with her colleagues about baby F. So they tested the blood of baby F, and they found a large amount of insulin and hormone markers that showed baby F did not produce this insulin in the body. This was external insulin, like diabetics take, like Lantus and NPH and Lispro. It was regular insulin that's not made in the body. The synthetic insulin that you get from the pharmacy was in the baby's blood, okay? And everybody like, how the heck? Because, you know, even with TPN, we don't put that in no, we don't put insulin up in there. You don't do that. First of all, they say insulin sticks on the side of the walls of the bags. So the insulin was put in there on purpose, and it's easy for Lucy to do that. All you gotta do is draw the insulin up, keep it in your bottle in your pocket, push it in when you want to. It ain't like it's hard. Same thing the other nurse was doing in the other video I made on Beverly Adlet, the one I made before this. So she put some insulin in that baby's bag, kept that baby's blood sugars down, and they, like I said, they did the labs, and they found out that's what it was. The baby had synthetic insulin in her blood. And one of the nurses testified and said, well, you know, they keep the stuff in the refrigerator, the bags, and all that, but any nurse is not strict. It's not strict about it. Any nurse could have a key to the refrigerator in their pocket the whole shift. Like, it's not strict. So, baby F did improve after his blood sugar improved. Baby F was transferred to Liverpool, and baby F was able to live. Because you want to know why? They got baby F the hell out of there. And they said, no, Satan, you ain't coming. You ain't finna get this one, okay? That mom and daddy said, we getting him up out of here. And they transferred him to Liverpool Hospital, and then he went home. So the next baby is baby G. Lucy attempted to kill baby G 3 times. Lucy, you just too much. Baby G only weighed 1 pound and 2 ounces. Could you imagine how tiny baby G was? She was on the unit for 3 months due to her prematurity. Baby G's mother had baby G while on the toilet at the hospital after having a stomach ache. So she came to the hospital for these stomach pains. She went to the bathroom, probably thought she had to poop, but she was really in labor. Baby fell in the toilet. The doctors had to come, and the nurse staff, they had to come get the baby out the toilet. They said they actually described that they grabbed the baby out the toilet, wrapped the baby up, and then took the baby. The baby had to go straight to the neonatal unit. The mother was frantic. Hell, I would be too if I'm on the toilet. My baby plopped out in the water. The hospital staff got the baby out of the toilet, like I said. They said she had a 5% chance to live. Baby G had a lot of issues at birth, but baby G was a fighter, and she was doing well. Baby G was transferred to the Countess of Hospital. So this hospital that she actually had baby G at was not the Countess Hospital. It was another hospital, but they transferred her to the Countess of Chester Hospital after she started to get better, okay? Because Countess of Chester Hospital was like a step down hospital. Because I noticed they went back and forth to the high level hospital. Baby gets stable, they sent them back. Once the baby stabilized, they sent them back to the Countess of Chester Hospital where Lucy was. So they hospital was not as critical, though the other hospitals was like where they saw real critical babies, okay? So they transferred her back to the Countess hospital after she started getting better. The Countess was near the mother's home as well. Baby G was sent to nursery 2. She didn't go to nursery 1, she went to nursery 2, so that's a good thing. On September 6th, it was Baby G's 100th day of life. That was like a big milestone, okay? They said the nurses had brought cake and balloon. I mean, they was celebrating Baby G, baby. They was getting it together. They had a little party for her. Even Lucy participated in it. So, on the day of her 100 days, like Lucy said, you ain't getting all the attention today, Baby G. You is not finna get it all. I'm finna get some of it too. Baby G started vomiting violently. Like they said, she's like, ugh. Now, little baby like that, vomiting violently. So Baby G started going bad. She started doing bad. Lucy was on shift, but she was not Baby G's nurse. Baby G's nurse reported that Baby G was doing so well. The assigned nurse, she said she went to lunch. And another nurse said that Baby G had projectile vomiting of a significant amount. And they drew out 45 mLs out of her stomach. And then, she still wasn't getting no better. They drew another 45 mLs out the Baby G's stomach. Now, Baby G didn't supposed to have another 45 mLs in that. She only supposed to have 45. Not 2 45s, okay? Baby G's stomach was purple and swollen. Baby G was deteriorating further and further. They moved Baby G back to intensive care. You know, Nurse Lucy wanted her there. She loved them to go there. They moved Baby G back to intensive care and put her back on the ventilator, okay? The doctor said that she had some blood behind her vocal cords. I guess when they were trying to intubate her. And he could not understand why she had this blood. He found that to be very odd, okay? I think that nurse was experimenting, trying to intubate these babies. I'm telling you, she was doing something. I don't know if she was shoving stuff down their throat, but she was definitely doing something. Another baby prior had the same thing. See, they said this twice about 2 babies that Lucy Letby was involved with had that same issue where behind the vocal cords it was blood, and that was something that they usually didn't see. Lucy took over the care of Baby G once they got her to nursery 1. Of course, she probably was waiting on that. And because the previous nurse didn't have, because they had different levels of experience, that nurse might have been a level 4 nurse, and I think Lucy was a level 5 nurse. So the higher the level, the more critical babies you can get. Just FYI. So Lucy took over the care. Baby G had 2 other collapses in nursery 1. The doctors were baffled on what was going on with Baby G. Again, they baffled again. They thought her abdomen was very large. By now, it's another shift and Lucy is off work. Again, here we go. She began texting her friends who was working the day shift. Lucy asked about the parents. She was so obsessed with them parents. And I'm thinking, did she pick her victims based on the parents? Did these parents have a certain thing that she saw in them that she picked their babies? Because as you go through the case, they're going to talk about Lucy going on Facebook searching the babies who she has attacked, parents, the mothers and fathers. And one mother, she searched 10 times. She searched weeks and months and everything after she attacked the babies. On Christmas, she's searching the mothers of these babies. And that is very, very odd. Now, that is odd, okay? So, again, so she's asking about the parents. How is the parents? Is they okay? So, the nurse is telling her the plan is for Baby G to go to another hospital. Okay, to be transferred. She's getting out of there. Lucy was off, and you know what she did? You know what people do that don't got a life? She came to the hospital on her off day and went to see Baby G. Okay. Baby G was finally moved to another hospital. The doctors was in agreement that someone overly fed Baby G and gave her some air on purpose, okay? Defense reported that an infection is what caused her collapse. This her attorneys. And she had sepsis, and then baby G was treated at the other hospital and was doing well. Now she was transferred back to Countess Hospital. Just stay away, kids, please, just stay away. When baby G came back, Lucy attacked baby G again. It's so ironic that they go over to this other hospital, they do well, they're thriving, they come back doing good, and as soon as they get in her hands or near her, just all of a sudden they're not doing good no more. It just so okay. So anyway, so now Lucy, baby G was moved. Oh, so when baby G came back, Lucy attacked her again. But baby G was moved to nursery 4 when she first came back. On September 21st, Lucy started her day shift as baby G's nurse in nursery 4. Remember, she don't like nursery 4 because the babies are not critical in nursery 4. She said in nursery 4, they just babysitting the babies and feeding them. She said she didn't like that. She don't like just babysitting the babies and feeding them. She want to do some real stuff, saving their lives. Okay, so baby G is vomiting now. Okay, baby G vomited 2 times, and she stopped breathing for 10 seconds under the care of Lucy. Baby G tummy was swollen when the doctor came, and baby G's issue was starting to baby G's stomach was kind of swollen when the doctor first came, but then it started to resolve. It was starting to resolve itself. The doctors were trying to find out why baby G had collapsed. Baby G moved back to nursery 1, and she received another nurse. Now they ain't moved Lucy. I gotta finish where I stopped off at. I really don't remember, but all I could say, what I think I stopped off at is they moved baby G back to nursery 1, and Lucy was not the nurse. She got another nurse, and Lucy was in nursery 4, which you know she don't like. A little later, Lucy was calling for help for baby G. Now, I don't know how she got to nursery 1 and skipped where she's supposed to be at, but they said she was calling for help for baby G. They said the monitor was off and it was a black screen, and they said the baby G was left on a cot, like not a cot, but like a surgical bed, like where the doctors work on the babies at. So basically, they was trying to say that the doctors was doing something with baby G and left her unattended on this little bed without, I don't think the bed even got side rails or nothing, and they didn't put the baby back, and they didn't turn the monitor back on. So the doctor saying Lucy did something, and Lucy saying they did it. Okay, even the nurse said Lucy didn't do that. Then another nurse said that the doctors did it. So I'm kind of thinking they might have did, and they trying to push. And she was a monster now, but I think y'all did that. Don't try to add more stuff on Poe Child. I mean, no, she ain't a boy. I think the doctors did probably do that. They might have made a mistake, and they say, hey, she got everything else on her, might as well put that on her too. But anyway, so Lucy was calling for help, but that don't mean Lucy wasn't going to go do her thing, because what was she doing in there in the first place? That's the thing. So the doctors, the nurse that was assigned to baby G said the doctors forgot to turn back on the screen, and they also left the baby like unattended on this certain bed, and it was not Lucy. The doctors reported that it was highly unlikely that they turned off the machine and did whatever they said they did, but he could not confirm that he didn't. Okay. After this collapse, she was then moved to nursery 1 on November 2nd. Baby G was able to be discharged, but baby G ended up having cerebral palsy, and will not be able to walk, and is visually impaired, because baby G is now 7 years old. So from the damage of what Lucy did to this baby, and they're thinking, yeah, they're saying that they overfed the baby, that she has cerebral palsy, because you know she probably was down through these collapses for too long without oxygen to the brain. So baby G do have cerebral palsy. She's 7 years old at this current time. Baby H was attacked on September 26, 2015. She was 6 weeks early, and these dates might not be in order, but this is how I got it from the court case. Baby H was attacked on September 26, 2015. She was 6 weeks early. The mother was type 1 diabetic. The mother was admitted to the hospital, and they went on ahead and delivered the baby early because she probably had, she had a lot of complications. Baby H was delivered by C-section, and she was 5 pounds and 2 ounces at the time of birth. Baby H was taken to nursery 1, and 28 minutes after she was born due to her breathing. She was also given IV nutrition. Baby H breathing did not get better, and she had to get put on a ventilator. Baby H was found to have a tear. She had a small tear in her lung, which was very serious. Okay, Baby H had multiple episodes after the first 40 hours of birth. Baby H's mother and father went to see her. The parents was not informed that she was put on a ventilator. Baby H has 3 drains in her chest to assist with breathing. And on the trial, Lucy stated that they was not, she said her or the nurses or the doctors were not equipped to handle a baby with 3 drains. And then they said the drains wasn't even sutured in. They said the drains were like taped in. So she said that they felt that was like very odd to be that way, and they wasn't trained on how to handle those multiple drains coming out this baby's chest. So they did state that on, and she said even the doctors was not trained because they was trying to find out how to manage that baby. So that was one thing. But anyway, so they thought she was stabilized. Baby H collapsed again under the care of Lucy in nursery 1. They worked on her again and started CPR. Baby H was given 3 shots of adrenaline. She started to improve. The doctors were baffled about Baby H and could not understand what was happening to her. The parents stayed overnight with their baby. The doctor could not understand why she kept having these collapses. I guess they were happening so frequently and back to back. The doctor suggested that Baby H go ahead and be baptized. So when they say that, they means that she might not make it. Let her go ahead and get baptized. Lucy started texting and was mad because it was talk on the unit by the senior nurses criticizing her that she was not capable of taking care of these more critical babies. The defense team is saying that, and this is Lucy's lawyers, okay, is saying that they were busy and staff was stretched to the limit, and the nurses were unskilled to take care of Baby H. They also said that it was a delay in a blood transfusion and some lung medicine that Baby H needed. They also said that the lung drain was in the wrong place. But the prosecution team proved that it was working. When the tube moved around, they said that means that it was working, because that's why it was moving. 22 hours later, Lucy attacked Baby H again. Lucy was not Baby H's nurse. She had another nurse taking care of her. The doctor noticed that Baby H tube was completely out. He saw Lucy standing over the baby. Baby H collapsed again and oxygen levels dropped. So this doctor, and I talked about him in the beginning, he was like this famous doctor. He's a famous doctor in the UK. I said his name. I would have to go back to look at it. It's Ravi Jayram. He like had a show in the UK, a reality doctor show. He said that he was like sitting at the nurse's station, and he was like, he said he felt very like uneasy about Lucy being in there with the baby, maybe in there with the baby. And he said that he said you know how you feel like a little paranoid. He like, well, let me just put this to rest, because maybe I'm just overthinking things. And so he went in there and Lucy was in there with the baby, and the stuff out, baby desadden, and he like, why are you just standing there? And she like, well, I'm waiting for him to turn, she was saying she was waiting for him to oxygen to come up on his own, like for her not to do nothing, for he could readjust on his own. But the doctor felt that was odd, like, you don't wait. And then in the trial, clinicians got on the stand and said a skilled nurse, a competent nurse, would not wait for somebody who's desaddened to come back up on their own. They'll start helping them. And so, yeah, so that's what happened with baby H. So baby H went into cardiac arrest. Baby H received CPR. They went to get the mother and the father on the floor while they were trying to stabilize. Lucy was very much involved in this care. They, even though I don't think she had, right? She didn't have her. Yeah, she didn't have her anymore. They made the decision to transfer baby H to another hospital. Lucy was texting again. The doctor. Now, she had, I don't think it was this doctor. She was texting another doctor about the transfer of baby H. But she has a doctor friend that we're going to see. And I'm going to say doctor friend because everybody thought that was like her boyfriend. But he was married. And she claimed that they was just friends. I didn't hear anything inappropriate in Texas that they played in the trial. But I don't know if they played everything. But he is, they did not release his name. They called him an alphabet too. Because he did not want anybody to know who he was as well throughout the trial. So, but this doctor, she was texting, that wasn't the same one. She was texting this doctor about the transfer. And once baby H went to the other hospital, she did well, improved, and they sent her back to Countess of Chester. Baby H was discharged from the Countess of Chester, and she is doing well up until today. The prosecution said that she attempted to kill baby H on multiple accounts, but she didn't succeed because baby H is a fine old little girl doing well. Baby I was born 27 weeks early. 27 weeks. The mother was, oh no, baby I was born at 27 weeks, I'm sorry, and the mother was 13 weeks early. Baby I was born at Liverpool Hospital. Remember, that was the more advanced hospital. Baby I weighed 2 pounds 2 ounces. The mother reported that her pregnancy went well. The mother's water broke, so the countess sent mother to Liverpool Hospital. When the baby became 6 weeks old, baby was transferred back to the Countess of Chester. The countess was close to the parents' home. The prosecution reports that attacks began 1 week after baby G. And 1 week after baby G and 3 days after she attacked baby H. Baby I and baby G's mothers became friends while they were at the hospital on the unit. On September 30th, 2023, the first attack happened. Lucy, did I say 2023? I'm sorry. So September 30th, the first attack happened. Lucy now, well, let me change it up. On September 30th, the first attack happened on baby H. Lucy now is on day shift, and Lucy was the nurse for baby I. Lucy, the parents was dividing their time staying with baby I. So the mother will come, and then she'll leave and go get her kid. The daddy will come. He'll stay when he get off of work. You know, they always come and stand at baby I's side, watching over her, because they had other kids too. So Lucy told the mother one day that baby I's abdomen was swollen and distended. And the mother didn't think anything of it because baby I always had this little swelling in his belly. So she didn't really think nothing of it. Baby I ended up collapsing as well that day after Lucy fed baby I. This was the first attack she made on baby I. Lucy started texting after her day shift was over with one of her nurse friends. The next day, baby I had another nurse, and she asked Lucy to watch baby I while she helped another nurse do something. Baby I was in her cot, and Lucy had told her that, now this was a big thing in court, because Lucy told the nurse that was caring for baby I, oh, she looks pale. But the nurse was looking like, because Lucy was like in the doorway, and they said the rooms was very dim, and the baby was in a cot with something over the cot. So and they showed this throughout the trial, like they showed the picture of how the cot looked, so people could get an understanding of how the hell Lucy saw that this baby was pale. So The nurse was saying, like, how could she see this? Like, we in the same area. I can't see the baby. The nurse said she had to literally go over there to the baby, turn the light on, take the stuff off, and see the baby. And so that was odd, okay? So when she did go look at baby I, the nurse that was assigned, she saw that baby I was definitely in distress, and she was looking like, wait a minute, I just left for a few minutes, this baby was stable, what is going on? That's how the nurse was thinking. But Lucy said in court that she was, maybe that nurse was not trained to see the things that she could see. I was like, girl, stop. The court, like I said, the court saw the cot, and they started resuscitation on baby I. The nurse, her name was Nurse Hudson, who was assigned, called the parents. They moved baby I to nursery 1, and of course, who got her? Lucy. Lucy ended up taking care of baby I. The prosecution said that Lucy Letby put air in baby I's stomach and overfed baby I. Lucy Letby had baby I the next day, and take 3. I'm gonna start off tomorrow with, I'm gonna leave it at this, and I'm gonna start off tomorrow with baby N and finish up because we gotta get to Q, baby Q. So please subscribe to my channel. This is a lot of work, research all this stuff, and this lady, she was doing the most. So please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be making more videos. I'm going to discuss how my daughter passed away, because I might help somebody, somebody's family or somebody in general understand it, because some people still don't know about this yet. And like I said, my issue was related just like baby D's. So just please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Keep on walking straight.